Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Technological Journey. So our last episode, we built the tungsten line and the plat line, and we get a bunch of nano circuits. This is actually a re-recording of a recording. Basically what happened, like a 6 to 7 hour video got corrupted. I just don't know why. I cannot open the file. It does not have the icon on the file. I just lost a lot of footage, but even though I played a lot. So like, if you guys can see, there's a large mixer here. There's a bunch of stuff over there. A bunch of stuff. I think I would I would do more stuff in this episode than was planned because I want more content in the episode. But I would try to explain everything I have done between episodes. So last episode was in the plat line. Immediately after building the plat line, I was immediately rushing hog, which is high octane gasoline in here. So you might wonder, why are we rushing hog? So a power supply was a big problem for us, as we do not have diesel at that point, we should have it when we are in like HV and EV. But since we don't have it, power was one of our main bottlenecks. Like, we're constantly running out of biodiesel and we're constantly running out of power. So basically, octane gasoline is like a better version of gasoline. It burns in the diesel generator and it gives a large amount of power, let's just say. So what comes with high octane gasoline is petrochemistry, or some of you may call it oil processing, not ore processing. So let me just show you some of our drills. So I have set up, first I went to Titan and I got 3 fluid drilling plants down. So this actually takes a charcoal log to come as a catalyst in the space station, but unfortunately my video got corrupted. The charcoal log, we get it from one of the trees in Bobos, I think, and I bonsai potted it. Anyway, so I have this drilling oil for now. Yeah, we're constantly running off out. We might want to upgrade this to the final FTP. Because we also have one drilling for toluene and one drilling for octane. So if we go back to our hog system, I have a bunch of distillation towers here. So this is distilling oil, and this will give us 4 byproducts. It will give us sulfuric light fuel, sulfuric gas, sulfuric naphtha, and sulfuric heavy fuel. The sulfuric light fuel and sulfuric heavy fuel, I think, will go into these 2 chemical reactors reacting with hydrogen, which gives us normal light fuel and normal heavy fuel. And then I have a crack fuel in here. So this is a new multi-block, and it is basically copper nickel coal blocks with some clean stainless steel casing. So I have light fuel and heavy fuel both here, and I have some steam going in out, but I ran out of steam. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this gives us steam, crack, light and heavy fuel, and which we distill, and this gives a bunch of outputs, which I do not want to name every single one of them. So for example, I'm gonna just search in JR real quick. So let's say the steam light fuel, steam crack light fuel, this gives like heavy fuel, naphtha, toluene, butadiene, butene, benzene, propane, ethane, methane, and ethylene. So yeah, a bunch of byproducts here. I have a bunch of super tanks storing all of our byproducts here. So yeah, you can see I have a bunch of different fluids. We're running off ethanol. That's not good. So yeah, actually the main thing I want to do is get hog, right? So let me just give you guys have a look at a recipe of hog. So it takes 5 fluids, which is toluene, which we are drilling in Titan. Octane, also drilling in Titan. So we have 2 already done. We need fu-butyl ether. We need gasoline and nitric oxide. Let's talk about fu-butyl ether. So this is butane and ethanol. Ethanol is one of the byproducts, I think, of... Okay, never mind, it's actually not. It's a byproduct of wood vinegar. So I kind of realize it because it doesn't come from oil or the steam cracked light heavy fuel. So I have a pyrolyzer oven over here giving us some wood vinegar. So I have like storage buses. I have like a tank full of charcoal. I have so much charcoal. I was like 430k in my storage. I don't know why. Yeah, the wood vinegar will come here, and you guys can see the YouTube. This is distilling acetic acid, I think. Let me check. This is distilling acetic acid, water, ethanol, methyl acetate, acetone, and methanol. These are all useful. So I'm storing them in the super tanks over there. So yeah, once that's done with fu-butyl ether. So I think I have this set up here. So I have to fluid interface, sending the respecting fluid. Okay, actually I made a bit of a mistake. So actually hydrocracked the butane we need, we don't actually get from the wood vinegar. That was butene we get, not butane. In order to get butane, we will need hydrocracked butene, which is where the second run comes in. So hydrogen and butene will gives us hydrocracked butane. So this is where we distill it, and this gives us a few more byproducts. Butane, which is the one we need, propene, ethane, and methane. Man, these carbon names. Yeah, that gives us the ethyl. Let's talk about the gasoline next. The gasoline is toluene and raw gasoline. Toluene we're drilling from Phobos and with a large supply of that. About raw gasoline is naphtha, refinery gas, methanol, and acetone. Acetone we got from some of the I think the wood vinegar. Naphtha, I think we got it from, yeah, the steam cracked light fuel. And the methanol we get it from wood vinegar. And the refinery gas is a bit more complicated, but we definitely have access to it as it is hydrogen and sulfuric gas. Sulfuric gas, if you guys remember, we get it from literally distilling oil. Yeah, this gives raw gasoline and mixed with toluene, easy gasoline. And let's talk about nitric oxide, which is the last one. So this is ammonia and oxygen. Ammonia, I have a chemical reactor here, and yeah, this is nitric oxide. And at last, we combine every single one of these. Yeah, this is one of the stuff I was recorded on camera, but it didn't get recorded. Next thing, let's talk about hogs. So why don't you use like single blocks diesel generators with hogs? So it actually doesn't, you cannot enter hog into like a diesel generator. You need to use a diesel engine here, which is a multi-block, which is outputting 12 amps of EV. Which is a lot. Let's just say it's a lot. But yeah, so these will get transferred into the diesel engine. So I have like one supplying hog and one supplying oxygen. I have now using centralized power. So I'm using these P2P GPU tunnels. So I have a bunch of memory card here. I have channels. This is the EV one. So you guys see 9AF3 is EV. This I have a transformer. This transformed to HV, which gives the channel is 2E69. So let's just see over here. Ignore this, and ignore this. Yeah, so I changed all the cables with this. So 2E69 is HV, right? And the EV one is, I think this one, right? Yep, 9AF3. So this is outputting the EV power to that. So yeah, that's basically how I do P2P. It's pretty easy and it's very efficient, and we do not have to worry about these goddamn biodiesels ever again. By the way, some of you guys said I too much. I'm trying not to. So thanks for the advice. If you guys have any advice, feel free to ping me on Discord or leave a comment down below. Okay, we got our hog and our new power generation out of the way. I also crafted a few more tungsten steel coils for this and this. This was like originally over there, but I moved it here. So the next thing I was going to do, and what our goal is in this episode, is to make ore processing, which is very complicated in GregTech. And ore proc, you can do it with single block machines, but it is very slow. With large machines like this do parallel mass reading, so it mass reads 64 items at a time in a 0.1 second rate. Like, look at all of these crates. Like this is just too fast, honestly, and my AEs is gonna explode soon. But yeah, I was going to make the ore proc system, which takes a few stuff. Sorry, there was a mosquito over there. So how this ore processing is going to be is basically we crush the ore and we would wash it into purified, and we would thermocentrifuge it, and then we would macerate it again, and this will give us the output dust. So this was lithium ore, and this gives lithium dust, which I think this like quintuples or even more our ores. I'm not sure what the word is. Like, while I was making this, I was looking through the recipe, right? So we can make this the stellite dust. Let me check. We can make the stellite dust in a normal mixer. So it is chrome, cobalt, manganese, and titanium dust, and we just EBF it into these, and it's easy to make. But how about the large ore washing plant? So I was looking for the recipe. So this Grisium actually takes the large mixer, as it consists of 5 different dusts and hydrogen too. So we had to make a large mixer and an able to make mixer which takes IV electrical motors, which takes brace steel wires, which takes let me check. Why is it not showing? Which takes brace steel ingots, which takes brace steel dust, which takes europium, caesium, or cesium, or bismuth. So these are the three stuff we do not have at the time. Let's talk about bismuth. We actually can't get this easily. This is just I think ore byproduct. Yeah, cassiterite. I just mined up a cassiterite thing. I put all the stuff through that, and it gave me 2,000 and like I don't know 6 stacks of tin. So that's like ridiculous amount of byproducts we get. So that's done. Cesium is by ore byproducting lepidolite, which is another ore. You guys just randomly in the ore overroad, and I just went through this and it gave us enough cesium. The last one, the most complicated, europium. This, how do we get this? There's two ways. Either you can get it from the Landfight Group B waste, which I'm pretty sure is nuclear, or we can get it from europium oxide, which is the one we're gonna go for. How do we get europium oxide? We get it from SMGD oxide solution, which comes from rare earth chloride solution. This is a catalyst, which comes from chemical reacting rare earth hydroxide solution with hydrochloric acid, and we get water, which comes from rare earth water and sodium hydroxide solution. So this is called the rare earth line, which is actually not surprisingly, the quest book page over here. So this rare earth line actually gives a bunch of stuff. This gives LA, the LA1, SM1, the TB, and the ERLU. So this gives dust, more dust, which is very cool. And I have an EBF here, which has a EV input bus, and I have some carbon in here waiting for these to smelt. So I have a LCI here, which this is doing two things at once. So this is a really complicated settings thanks to Onion. He helped me set up this. So a lot of these stuff is looped, the rare earth stuff. So I have a lot of these output facing input batch, and this LCR actually does 2 recipes at a time. So let me just explain. So the rare earth is the only insert we need. This gives rare earth hydroxide solution and hydrogen, which we mix with hydrochloric acid to give us sodium hydroxide. So 3000, easiest loop in my life. This also gives this sludge, which I'm storing here in a super chest. And yeah, this is basically self-looping. I have a trash can of hydrogen because it's free. And we have a water cover here. And this is the input bus for the rare earth, and I have a rare earth chloride solution which goes into here. This gives hydrochloric acid to here, and this makes the rare earth chloride solution which goes here. So this is basically a infinite loop. So this is 2 new multi-blocks again, large centrifuge. I have 2 here. One is to mix the rare earth chloride solution with this catalyst, phosphoric acid, and this outputs 5 different stuff. And yeah, so I have a output quadruple output hatch. This outputs 4 of these, and I have a filtered output hatch over there outputting specifically hydrochloric acid. So these fluids come up here into here. You guys can see the input hatch over here. This would process, and when there's 4,000 of these fluids, which gives these different dust. Let's talk about the catalyst here, which is this phosphoric acid thing. This does not get consumed in the process, so we only need to make this once, which is very cool. This is not that hard to get, actually. This is phosphorus pentoxide dust, which is phosphorus dust, and oxygen, which is phosphorus we get from phosphate. And 2Fu hexanol comes from hydrogen, and this, which comes from hydrogen, propene, and carbon monoxide, which we have a bunch of these. I think carbon monoxide is one of our outputs of something. So I have like 200 buckets in our heavy system. Anyways, this is the rare earth line, and we are able to get our europium oxide, and therefore we were able to make our large mixer over here. So let's check our large mixer recipe over here. This takes a bit more stuff. Yeah, I was saying the motor takes breaks 2, but since we have europium now, we can do it. Ivy is tungsten steel, and we have a bunch of tungsten anyways. So yeah, first C6 chrome reinforced, which is chrome, and nickel reinforced, which is 3, and a bunch of tungsten steel stuff, but this is relatively cheap. This also takes tungsten carbide and stab alloy. Tungsten carbide is one of the stuff down here we didn't make last episode. This is basically some tungsten dust with chlorine. I think our process is down here. So yeah, from chlorine here, this is inserting tungsten hexachloride tungsten dust. This gives tungsten hexachloride and then mixed with methane hydrogen to give us tungsten carbide. The stab alloy is a bit more annoying. This is uranium and titanium, which gives 10 stab alloy at a time. Okay, so we have the large mixer. We finally can make the grisium, which means we can finally make our large washing plant. Alright, so off camera, I've crafted up the required grisium casing we need. So we need 69, haha. And I'm now currently requesting the large washing plant over here. Long list of materials over here. Let's hope it works. So I'm gonna come back when the large washing plant is finished crafting. Right, we have got our large washing plant over here crafted up. So let's build our multi-blocker now. There's just an item in Regicality which is called Freedom Winch. It has multiple modes, as you guys can see down here. So if we go to building mode and we right click this, it will automatically build. Realistically, this is to large washing plant, probably missing a few buses and hatches here and there, and I'm pretty sure we can place it like anywhere, like the input bus and output bus. Right, so I have reconfigured a bit. So I have put the input bus and the output bus on the sides, and the maintenance hatch is back here, and their energy input hatch is also back here. After washing it, we would thermal centrifuge it, and unfortunately it is a different thing from the normal centrifuge, so we have to make another one. And this is actually, I've heard this is pretty slow, and this also takes red steel, which is, let me check, sterling silver, black steel, bismuth bronze, and steel. So yeah, this is more alloy, and this is more alloy. All right, so I guess we should craft our thermal centrifuge now. So let's just encode our recipe, and man, we're running out of these patterns. I need a lot of these. Great, seems like our thermal centrifuge is done over there. I cannot speak anything. And so is our red steel casing. I think the thermal centrifuge would be like this. So if we right click, boom. Most of the stuff is not crafted. What is this at the back? Let me check. Oh yeah, I definitely did not take any of the motor blocks or stuff like that. I'm gonna just take it real quick. So let me just talk about these electric motor blocks. If you guys are not familiar with Regicality multi-blocks, man, I cannot pronounce today. So these there's two things that are depending how fast the machine runs. There's the energy input hatch, of course, and there are these motor blocks and piston blocks inside the machine over here. So therefore, if you have like a LV, it will only actually run at a LV speed. That's what I did before. Right, I think we have some of our stuff done. If we right click, we get a few more stuff done. Alright, I have made the input hatch and the output hatches over here. Seems like we are missing a block inside. We're missing blocks. Let me check. Oh, yep. The coil blocks. Let me just use our nichrome here. Totally. I did not forgot about that. But oh, yep, I forgot about the motor block. I'm very stupid. But yep, anyways, let's just fix this real quick, and you should finally form. There you go, finally. And also the output patch should be at the back. I'm very sorry, but yeah, I do not want the maintenance hatch, sorry, at the front, because that's just disgusting. Right, cool. So I think we have our thermal centrifuge ready to rock and roll. Alright, so after centrifuging, we need another macerator, I think. So I'm gonna make another macerator, I think. Alright, so I have encountered some problems. while making the large packaging machine. First of all, this takes Hg1223 ingots. I have a dust here, but in order to smelt it, I need a HSSG coil, which is we can make it right now. Yeah, over here. So the coil blocks over here takes the ingots and the dust. So this is 5 tungsten steel dust, a chrome dust, molybdenum, and vanadium. We can get vanadium from the vanadium magnetite dust, which is pretty easy. Molybdenum, I think we get as a ore byproducts from molybdenite or scheelite. So that's the recipe. So we have to add another recipe and change one of these coils to HSSG coils. And the next, another thing we didn't have is barium. As you guys can see, we have 64 now, but before I didn't have 64. And I think it is required to make the large packaging casing, which is a toxic HS11G casing. So I have made this simple setup over here. So this is currently supplying carbon and barite dust. Barite, you can mine barite from the overworld, which this would be turned into, let me check, barium sulfide, which will be reacted with carbon dioxide and water to get barium carbonate, and react with circuits. I don't know why this is a thing. You get barium oxide and we electrolyze it to get barium. Pretty easy line. I have trash can here under here avoiding some random stuff. So this is the barium line. Whenever we need some, we're gonna mine some barite up, and this is gonna get processed. I think the carbon dioxide is looped within this system, so that's pretty cool. So I think we also need a large sifter for siftable stuff and the ore proc. So actually we need a few more machines. So I'm gonna make the SSG ingot real quick over here, and I'm gonna encode a few recipes. Right, so we are currently crafting these HSSG ingots in the EBF over here. So let's check out this. 20 seconds per ingot. This is gonna take a while, more AFKing some later. But yeah, I have encoded the core recipe over here with the tungsten ingot as usual. So this would get melted down into tungsten, and it will get it will get fully extracted to molten tungsten, and it will mix with the wire and mica. So that is the HSSG core recipe. Alright, I have built the large sifter over here. This took me a while to craft. So basically this takes large sifter, egnine steel casing, some piston blocks, and great machine casing, and the multi-blocks like this. I just right-clicked it with the freedom wrench again, pretty easy. Having is very OP. But yeah, the large sifter is basically a elite sifting machine and some IV circuits. And the egnine steel dust is made out of invar, iron dust, camphor, carbon, silicon, and sulfur dust, and the large mixer. If we don't have the large mixer, it takes another step. But since we have it, let's just use it. Right, after a while, I have built the ore processing setup. So this might be a bit different than you may see in the last part. I've taken some time to reconfigure this. It's a pretty simple setup, but it took me a while to figure out. Unfortunately, I'm stupid. But yeah, I have added a large sifter in the middle between the thermocentrifuge and the macerator, and I have also added a packager here. I've done a few, and we have a lot of dust already. We have 61k stone dust, and we have 13k precious, 12k bauxite. So yeah, I've done a bit of ore proc. Ore proc is really OP, especially in TJ. And look, we have 5k rutile and we have 11k manganese. So that's cool. 10k gallium, you're never gonna see that number in NH. But jokes aside, we have done ore proc. Yay! So I have 2 remaining goals to do in this episode, and I have basically crafted the thing we need already. So the first we want to make is the extreme diesel engine, which is this thing. It's basically the same as the diesel engine, but it outputs IV amps. Same, it can be boosted from 4 amps into 12 amps. And this just takes titanium stuff, which is, it takes quite some time to get burned in the EBF. But yeah, I have crafted the extreme diesel engine, the intake casing, the casing, robust tungsten steel casing, and we need some of these tungsten steel gearbox, I think. Yep, I have built the extreme diesel engine here, which has the same setup as the diesel engine. We have all high octane gasoline here, we have oxygen and lubricants to boost it, so we're outputting 12 amps at a time. So yeah, let's do the final goal of the episode, which is building the battery tower here. So this is a large structure. It takes borosilicate. Okay, we have the borosilicate. It takes HV power cells, which is double lead plate, solid steel casing, and oxygen. This I might need to make a assembler just for this. And we can go up to IV, which is helium, but yeah, I don't know. We can max it to EV, I think. IV seems like it takes helium, which I guess we can get it from liquid air. And the low friction talonite is talonite, which we made before. So we need 48 casings. And yeah, we need 64 for silicate class. So that's a lot. But yeah, this is gonna take a while to craft, and yeah, I'll see you guys when these guys finish crafting. Alright, so it's been a while, I'd say, but if you guys are wondering why this episode took so long to release, it's because I have COVID-19. But yeah, so what did I do in between episodes? I mean, in between the clips, I've made a few multi-blocks. I'll explain later. But last episode we were building the battery tower. I've made all the components, and I also upgraded the power cell blocks to EV. So originally it was at HV, so you guys can see I used double titanium plate, and I used nitrogen in a assembler. It has to be EV, by the way, to upgrade it to EV. And another part of why this reason takes so long is I want this to be an IV, which is the max power we can produce right now. I'm sorry. But yeah, the IV power cell is made with EV power cell, double tungsten plate, and helium. Helium is the hardest part, which we are getting from distilling liquid air, which we get all these byproducts. We get 50 buckets of helium per 100,000 liquid air, which is a insane ratio. But this has been running for like a few days at least, and I have two setups. First is a vacuum freezer in the air, so I have an air collector and it's vacuum freezing into a liquid air. I'm sorry if you guys, I cannot speak properly. But yeah, over here I have set up two vacuum freezers. I have an air collector, and then it's currently inserting liquid air into our distillation tower. And I also have set up another drill on Pluto. I actually had like a recording of me going to Pluto, but yeah, it got corrupted. So I made a quantum ring here and linked it to our main AE network. And I have like a IV, I think. Oh, we have a LUV pump here, pumping liquid air. It's drilling like, I don't know, 10 buckets a second. And this is liquid air too, so we're pumping a lot of liquids basically. So yeah, that is basically how we are getting helium. So we have 422 buckets of helium. Okay, we can definitely make this right now. I did the math. We would need like, I think 280 buckets around of helium in order to do all of the power cells. So yeah, we can do that right now. And we also got all these large machines. So we made the large mixer, of course. I have also made the large extruder here. So we have an input bus of our molds, and I have patterns, all patterns here. We also have the large bending machine, all the patterns here, and the large wire mill. And I'm currently making the lathe, which is the cutting machine, large cutting machine, which we're just missing a diamond saw blade actually. Just gonna make this real quick. yeah, anyways, we have all of the helium we need, and let's upgrade our battery tower here. But yeah, the level of the power cells indicate which level of power you can store in the battery tower. So for example, we can only have like max EV input hatches going to the tower and max EV outputs, which is not what we want. We literally have like IV generators over there. Alright, we're gonna have our IV assembler here. You will not be supplying nitrogen, and instead you would be supplying helium. So need to remove this nitrogen, avoid all these. This also requires a bunch of double tungsten plate, so I'm gonna set this as a recipe. So yep, if we request 36, we should be able to do that, and our newly made vending machine should make this a lot faster. Look at all of our plates zooming now. It used to take like a few seconds for each plate, but now it should be a lot faster. But yeah, the bottleneck will be this. This takes 60 seconds per craft. So yeah, I love this game. I love Greg Tech. Thanks for this mechanic. But yeah, I'll see you guys when all of the power cells are done. Alright, while the power coils are being cooked, I'm gonna explain how this ore processing works. So when we place ore here, it will get macerated down. So it will get macerated down into crushed. We get iron dust and stone dust. Basically, all of these, maybe the different dust, and maybe different variants of the crushed ore. But it's basically crushed and to dust. So we have a filter which makes crushed go into the next machine, and the dust going back into our main network, which is over here. We'll have a filter here. This is a filter for the dust to go back to the main network, and over here, which is the crushed one, that will go into the washer. So this is an ore dictionary storage bus. So it has crushed on it because every single crushed has the crushed on it, no matter which type of ore it is. It has a crushed in front and the name of it's at the back. So we just crushed star, it's in the front, but you cannot see it. It will go into the info bus over here. And we have another filter here, which after washed, it will give us purified, tiny pile of iron dust and stone dust. Which the tiny pile and the stone dust will go into the main network, and the purified one, crushed purified, will go into the thermal centrifuge. So we have the thermal centrifuge here, filtered for crushed purified. There's also another type which is siftable. Therefore, we have a sifter over here. So basically, we have a filter for stuff which is siftable. It will go into the sifter. And stuff which is not siftable will go into the thermal centrifuge. But basically, the two products will go into the products of the thermal centrifuge will go to the macerator, and all the tiny dust in the making will go into the packager, filtered tiny dust on these ore dictionary storage bus. So like tiny dust will get sent into the storage crates. I have a robot arm of supply exacts of 9. So each time if there's 9 ores, it will get sent into the packager, or else it will clog up the input bus, which is not good. So yeah, this is basically our ore filtering system. I mean the ore processing system. Compared to last time, we have 715, even though there was 100 at the chunk at the time, which is insane. But yeah, I think we're waiting on our last 6 power cells, which will take a while. But yeah, I'll see you guys when these guys are finished baking. Anyways, we have 36 IV power cells here, and we can make the battery tower now, which is cool. I'll just fill this up real quick. Alright, anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We did a lot in this episode, especially infrastructure wise. We built a lot of new machines. I need to fix a bit of this octane gasoline situation. I might need to make a few more cracking units because I'm currently sharing light fuel and heavy fuel, which sometimes clog the system. So I might need to make a new one. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to leave a like and support the video. I do not know. I just want you guys to enjoy the video, and I'm sorry for not posting for a while, and this will probably be a while too, since I have a lot of IRL stuff to do in these few weeks, so I might not be posting for a while again. I'm very sorry. I'm gonna apologize, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys, and be safe.